Hi, I'm Brandon. I love Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Brian. I like Hallmark Christmas movies.
I'm Dan, and I despise Hallmark Christmas movies, and this is the
Deck the Hallmark Podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast. Brandon and friends host this podcast. We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Hi, everybody.
Boy.
Is it another big week? Is it Sunday?
Big week.
What day is today?
Today is Sunday, December 8th.
We
It's
knew
another
that.
big week,
Another big
everybody.
week,
Wow.
everybody.
Another
This
big
is,
week.
we were talking, this may be the biggest.
But
The
this,
big-
but
save
if
the
you
biggest
think,
for
but
yeah.
this, what we did here is we
Yeah.
saved the first, we made it last. So this movie
Amen. That's
right.
was the first movie.
right.
We're a biblical show.
Sure.
But you could probably find, we might be trending in the Christian podcast.
Hashtag
Christian
that.
podcast, yes.
Christmas in Our Lives was the first movie of Thanksgiving
Of our
week,
hearts. Oh.
and we did it last.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. And that's no
Because-
offense given to any.
No.
like, we're not.
Our boy K-On's in this movie.
Yeah,
right.
Love K-On. Love him. Love him. We're going to have a lot of fun talking about it. And then we're right back at it.
Yep, another big week.
Big week.
Only,
It's that time of year.
Only 2 more full weeks
That's crazy.
until Christmas. Can you
And we're
believe
here,
that?
and then it's over. Christmas is over.
We shut it down.
You got real sad.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Why'd
sorry,
you got to
buddy.
bring it up?
I'm sorry.
Why do we got to bring it up?
You know I
It's
get,
going to get to a point where he starts getting sad when the schedule's released.
Well, yeah.
there is a
He's
part
going to
of
be
me.
Yeah.
at his peak Christmassy in
Well,
like
we
March.
did it. Well,
And then
beginning of the
September's like,
end.
well, it's pretty much over.
What's
Just
the
crawling into a grave. We're
That's
just throwing dirt on him.
That's right.
May as well shut it down.
I don't like get down about like much of anything aside from the end of Christmas. And then it's like,
It comes back every year.
I fully understand.
Yeah.
I know.
The
I
whole
know.
season.
And so does the pain.
All right. Okay. All
It
right.
never gets easier,
It
does it?
never gets easier. It gets harder the older you get.
Yeah.
We're
what
talking
they
Christmas
say.
in Our Lights today. It's a movie that you could have watched and played our card game, Christmas
Yeah.
Movie Magic.
Would've been a good one.
It's out, and my understanding, you can order it now, deckthehallmark.com/game, and you will get it before Christmas, and you'll still be able to play it. And a lot of people begin to, you watch the Hallmark movies early on, and then you kind of do the Christmas classics as it gets a little
Yeah.
bit closer to Christmas. You can play it to your Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah.
You can play
sure
it.
can.
You can play it to your Polar Express. You can play it to
Good
your
God.
It's a Wonderful Life. You can do all those things. You can hit all the
Those
favorites.
3 movies being in a sentence
I
together.
just did all of our favorites. I did all of our favorites here. I did it all.
Have you given Cranks a watch yet this season?
I haven't.
I think Elf, for me, Elf and the Santa Claus and the Holdovers all
And Christmas
all
Cranks.
give It's a Wonderful Life a run for their money.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a true story.
Wow.
Well, the Jim Carrey of it all.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know if you've ever said anything that I could hear Alonzo shiver when you said it. I've done a lot
Usually
of things
it's
over
you,
the years.
yeah.
But even when we
You
back-
saying the Santa Claus though. is-
but back before we did this show, Brand, we did a little show called Christmas Radio Live. It was a morning show,
Right.
That you and I and Panda
we
occasionally
did. We did because I have an online radio station. It's still live, but we don't do the morning show anymore.
And
because
we
we're
did
live.
a Christmas movie bracket. And even then I said we had Elf and It's a Wonderful Life in the final 2. And I said at that point, I would take either of these movies. So like, I don't think It's a Wonderful Life is above those.
Do you want to know what might hurt your soul more than anything in the entire world?
Uh-oh.
So I'm on.
Do I?
I
don't know if you
found
do.
out. So you know that there's an Elf musical, right?
Yes.
There's an Elf musical, and I'm sure it's swell. I discovered that there is a cartoon version of the musical. It's 46 minutes long, and like what worst case scenario? Who's Elf? Like who do you think they would bring in the to
French
do the-
Stewart.
No,
Rob Schneider.
no.
Ooh.
Okay, these are all good options.
Good guess.
Sheldon.
Jim
boy.
Parsons.
Jim Parsons is Elf.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it's 46 minutes, and it is I didn't finish it.
Whoa.
I know. It hurt my soul.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
can't
feel-
imagine what it would do to you.
I feel better about Jim Parsons after I mentioned Rob Schneider.
Sure.
Yeah. you
No,
know.
I shouldn't have said the worst. I'm
Yeah.
sure there are worse options, but when I saw Jim Parsons on it, I was like, I don't know about this. And then it started, and I was like, I really don't know about this.
You were right.
But maybe people, if you like it, let me know. Maybe it gets better. But I made it like,
Justice for Sheldon.
I made it to where he gets to like New
Don't
York.
dare them to make that TV
Wow,
show.
you didn't make it long at all.
No.
Wow.
Now I feel like I need to watch this, you know?
Yeah, but Ed Asner does do the voice of Santa.
Oh, good.
So,
Oh my goodness.
so
Shout out.
you gotta. There's some bright points, but also some not bright points. All that to say, you can play Christmas Movie Magic to any of those things.
Decktohallmark.com/game.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. You can watch all the movies and watch all of our episodes. That's right. You can watch our episodes on Philo, philo.tv/DTH. It's the place to go. And would encourage you to keep it up in the new year. Philo Deep Dive will be coming back in January. It's the show where Dan and I do a deep dive on a random show that we find on Philo. It's a ton of fun. It's one of the highlights of my week
Wow.
during the year. I love that show.
It's a great
I
show.
have a lot of fun.
Great show.
I have a lot of fun over
Yeah.
at Philo Deep Dive. So come and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. Brian, what do you have for the people? I know you ABC always
Yeah.
keep promoting. What do you got
ABC,
going on? I know
ABC.
you were really excited about a certain thing that's kind of charring your cheer a little bit.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. You mentioned the deep dive, and I was just thinking, I haven't heard a gavel in a while. Have you ever done a gavel deep dive version where you just strictly do some court shows on a deep dive?
No, we have not. I did one. I do feel like it's a little bit of a cheat code.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did one court show that I've never done for Gavel. It
Yeah.
was Miss Pat Settles It. And it's a
Barely a court show.
Court show on
really?
BET.
Yeah.
Miss Pat brings it in. There's
Miss
some
Pat.
comedians over there. It is a very fun show, but that's the closest I've done to a Gavel Deep Dive.
It does
crossover.
kill two birds with one stone.
It does. Is Deep Dive now going to become Go Gavel Gavel? Because
not
you
bad.
can find Mathis on Philo. It's there.
think
You
it's
can-
actually a pretty good little cheat code, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan's like,
Yeah,
you
it
can
is.
find Mathis on Philo.
You can find math. Of course you can. That's where I
what's
watch
been-
it.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
He's the
obviously.
best. He's the best. Mathis is the best. We love him. All right, let's talk Christmas Under the Lights, shall
Yeah.
we? The last
that.
one of the one from a long time ago, and then
You
we'll
nailed
do, and then we'll do
But
more
first here.
and then we'll do more for the ones that weren't as long ago. Starting tomorrow.
Big week.
Christmas Under the Lights, November 27th, 2024. It's going to premiere on the Hallmark Mystery Channel, and it went a little something like this. Emily is a party planner, and she is great at her job. Her clients are always thrilled with her work. She knows all the influencers because she lives in LA. She's doing all these parties for these hotshot influencers. She makes it known, however, that she is not going home for Christmas. And it becomes pretty clear that she actually tries to avoid the conversation about this altogether. Cut to Emily's brother, Nick. Nick is stuck running the family farm. It's a big year. It is the first Christmas after their mom passed away, and he is now trying to figure out how to do this Christmas carnival. It's the 25th annual Christmas carnival. It's a big one. His best friend and also a hunk, I might say, his name is Luke, and Luke has been helping out around the farm. When Luke hears that how overwhelmed Nick is with the party planning of it all with the carnival, I wish they would have given them other names. Luke and Nick is about as generic as you get, and I'm definitely gonna mix them up. I'm sure I probably have it already. Anyway, when he hears how overwhelmed Nick is with the carnival, he suggests calling someone with a ton of party planning experience. Who could it be? It's Emily. They call
my
Emily, and
goodness.
Emily at first is like hard pass, but then she has a dream about her mom. So she hops on a plane from LAX and goes straight to the farm. She actually doesn't go straight to the farm. She goes to get some coffee. She bumps into an old friend. It's good to be home. On her way to the farm, she almost hits Luke while he's walking across the road, and they have a very Hallmark style shouting match. So it's like, it's like Dan and I, just talking.
Yeah.
So it's pretty intense stuff. But it's a shouting match for Hallmark. They're mad at each other. When she gets to the farm, she's shocked to find out that Luke is there as well. As she catches up with her brother, she learns that Luke is a light artist. A light artist.
You know the kind.
Or at least he used to be. You might say that he is now a light artist.
Artist light.
Artist light. When Emily sees some of his work, she gets inspired. What if they incorporate his art into the carnival to make it really special and to have one of those things that can kind of help bring some buzz to the carnival this year, 25th annual? So she goes to ask Luke if he'd be willing to do this, and at first he's like, nope, but then he's like, okay, fine, love of the game, love of the art, love of you. But Luke realizes that he needs some inspiration. He can't just create art out of nothing, out of light, So Emily ever the problem solver, comes up with some fun activities to boost his creativity, such as untangling Christmas lights in the middle of the night, decorating the farm, and even going to a Christmas market together. Finally, inspiration strikes while eating a cookie at a party, and he rushes home. My guy is inspired. And let's be honest, it's Emily who's inspiring him all the way home because the sparks were flying. They're both digging each other. The carnival's going to be popping, so Emily calls her All in the Favors. That's a new show that's starting out, All in the Favors.
Just grabbing words as they come by like a buffet.
The carnival's going to be popping.
They're all he or she, what they.
Let me try another one off for you. The carnival's going to be popping, so Emily calls in all of her favors to all of the influencers and the press to get as many people out there as possible. Luke's not thrilled about the influencers. Honestly, who is? But he is thrilled about Emily, so what can you do? Luke finally shoots his shot and asks her to dinner. While they walk around downtown, she casually mentions that she's definitely going back to LA after the carnival. And he's like, well, I mean, I'd still like to talk to you on the phone. I wouldn't have asked you out to dinner if I didn't kind of want to get to know you even more. And so they exchange phone numbers, which probably thought they already had it because they're working on the whole carnival thing, but it doesn't matter. It's sweet. At dinner, they bond over how hard it is to take the plunge to become their own boss. He's afraid to open up a gallery, and she's afraid to start her own party planning company because of how much there's going on in LA. There's already so many companies. It would just be the market's saturated. Luke suggests that she comes home and starts a business, but Emily's like, leaving LA, that'd be like failing. So I can't do that. She then talks about her mom, and he talks about light, and the date is a big success. Finally, it's carnival time, and that's a success. The light, are you kidding me right now? Big fun. Emily and Luke come up with a plan. She is going to start her own company, splitting her time between LA and the farm. Meanwhile, he is going to open up his own gallery. And what better way to seal that deal than with a contract? Just kidding. With a kiss. And that, my friends, was Christmas Under the Lights.
We did it.
We did do it. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and we'll break this movie down here on
Deck
the Hallmark.
Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas to you. Happy Sunday. We're talking Christmas Under the Lights, the Hallmark mystery movie from Thanksgiving week. So let's break it down. Let's talk about it. Let's share our thoughts. We're going to start with a hot take. We're going to share exactly how we felt about this movie. Brian, what do you think about Christmas Under the Lights?
Yeah, I thought it was very well written. I thought it had a nice atmosphere. I thought the characters were really good, and it sort of felt like a 3 right down the middle is what it felt like.
A 3 right down the middle.
Yeah, it did.
A little bit above average.
I would say, yeah, like just 3 right down the middle is what I would say and what it is. So it's just very traditional.
Wrong.
Well, I was sort of I think
2.5.
I think that
Everyone knows it.
my expectations for the heat level were really high on this. Like I thought that
The heat level in regards to like the
like
light.
Mark
the two
Orsini
leads.
and Heather Hemmons, I thought the smoke was going to be coming out of my TV.
You
like,
didn't think
for
it
some
was?
reason. No, I didn't. I thought they were great together. There were moments that was like, oh, here we go. But I thought it was just going to be like sort of nonstop. But I thought it was really good overall. I thought they did a really good job. Antonio, obviously, great to see Antonio on the screen, especially back in a cowboy hat, back on the ranch.
Where he belongs.
Yeah. There was a joke about not liking ranch dressing that, yeah, same. Touched my heart. I don't like ranch dressing either. So I thought the light designs are pretty cool for, picking up scraps around the farm. Good job.
I don't agree with you about their chemistry. I thought we actually had to get a new TV because of so much
Yeah.
sparks.
Yeah,
It caused a full fire. I
And
thought
I love
these.
to buy new TV.
You sure?
I
It's
know.
not a problem.
Yeah, that's the only reason we bought a new TV was
That's
because
right.
of that. It had
Smoke.
nothing to do
Yeah.
with the fact that it's been a few years
That's
and
right.
Dan's getting antsy.
There's soap in it.
I thought that these two leads had dynamite chemistry. They were together, and it just like every time they looked at each other, I was like, I don't feel like I should be watching this. So like, very like amazing chemistry. I thought these two crushed it. There's a couple of scenes in particular. Apparently, those are the scenes. I imagine those were the scenes that you're alluding to. That actually you did see the chemistry and the sparks. But I felt like there was always sparks, and there were a few scenes particular, I almost said in specific, in particular, that MIAI, in particular, that really made the movie really something special. It popped. I thought that this movie should have been a right down the middle, and I thought that overall the couple, the chemistry, and the script, as you mentioned, elevates it. I thought that this was an above average movie in a relatively average year for Hallmark. And so I was surprised by this movie. I really, really enjoyed myself. And I think you mentioned the what was it, the atmosphere? What did you say?
Yeah, just the atmosphere.
I turned to Dan at one point and I said, this movie's really cozy.
Yeah.
And I don't fully know how to explain it, but there's something about this movie that's cozy. And don't mishear me. Don't mishear cozy for boring, because it wasn't boring. There was something about it that just felt nice and like what you kind of want out of these movies. You want it to feel like a nice blanket on a cold night, and that's what this movie felt like. I really liked it. Dano?
Yeah, this movie is knocking on the door of my top 10. So it was better than the average movie of this year. Not my thing, but also like way better than I thought it was going to be. And here's my hot take on this. The guy that wrote this movie is Russell Hainline. He also wrote a little movie called Hot Frosty. Now, I'm pretty sure someone else had the story for this, and then he wrote it for Hallmark. We've heard a ton about Hot Frosty this year, and how, basically he came up with this story at a party, and it was kind of like almost a dare to write this script. This is the dare script, not Hot Frosty. This is the dare script. Hey, Russell, it's a big city girl going back to a small town, meeting the artist who deals in light, who works on an alpaca farm, and you've got to plan a carnival. That's party planning, that's big city, small town, that's artist, that's all of these overused, overwrought, terrible Hallmark movie tropes in one movie. And Russell Hainline, it's like somebody gave him this. It's like Chopped. Like, here are your ingredients. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to somehow make a dish with all these ingredients. And I can't imagine you being able to do better with the ingredients that you were given. So for me, this is a triumph for Russell Hainline, considering the story that he has to tell. Marco Grazzini and Heather Hemmings, on fire when they're together. Absolutely on fire. The problem is at the end of the day, this movie is a party planning movie, and it just so happens the order we watch these movies in, this has got to be at least the 13th Dead Parent movie in a row that I've watched. I don't know what to tell you.
Moment of silence for the dead parents.
Did Jingle Bell Run have a dead parent? Because I think that might be the last one we watched that didn't have one.
Jingle Bell Run had a dead son.
Okay.
That's right.
So like
Daughter.
every
Daughter.
movie.
Dead child.
And I know that Hallmark deals in dead family members. I understand that. But this year, I feel like
They're in that business. They're in the business of dead family members.
I feel like there's a dead parent in every single movie.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of where I broke on that. But if you take all of these very generic things that I never want to see again in a Hallmark movie, and you put it in a chop basket, and Russell Hainline took those, and he kind of worked magic considering what the movie on paper looks like. It looks terrible on paper, and it's watchable on film. So good for him.
There is a website sometimes that people use called "Does the Dog Die?" and it's
Yeah.
like when you find
Yeah.
out if there's a movie that has an animal in it, if the animal makes it, because people really don't want to see that.
Warning, yeah.
We need this for Hallmark. We need
It'd just be every movie.
Does my mom die? And then like that will
Website
help.
just says yes.
Yes,
in all bold.
for all
Yes.
the movies
Yeah.
this year, it would honestly be a pretty good idea for a website. I think it would actually people would really utilize
Take that, run with us. Give us some money.
just a little bit, even a little bit. Maybe
What
we
if they pay you in dead parents?
Ooh,
no.
That's
I
the
don't like that.
currency.
just
I don't deal in dead parents.
No, an unbelievable year this has been in regards to.
Oh my
that
gosh.
subject.
Every
They're making
movie.
a statement.
Yeah.
They're trying to tell us something.
And I felt like we had kind of moved away from it. a
Yeah,
little
but
bit.
there used to be used to be a lot of dead grandparents or
Yeah.
aunts, but this year it's like severe.
Are we going nuts, Aaron? Is it? This feels more than it has been the last couple of years.
Yeah, no, it's insane. I feel like a lot of the movies there's a lot more dead relatives than usual. I have a friend who recently lost a parent, so
Right.
I've been trying to keep an eye on these movies. And
So
I
that
just feel
website
like
would be helpful.
So
I just
website
feel
would
like
help.
there's a lot more like, hey, you should be worried about this movie
Yeah.
than in past years. Like
Ugh.
it's almost
Like-
every other movie.
I understand. I understand that it's going to be a thing because it's a thing that happens in
Holiday
life.
Touchdown did not have a dead parent. It had one dead grandparent.
Dead
Three were
grandparent.
alive.
Dead
But that's
grandparent.
really
right.
like because I'm looking Christmas with the Sings, Finish Line, Santa Tell Me, 5-Year Christmas Party, Christmas Quest, Three Wiser Men, Confessions of a Christmas Letter, Our Holiday Story, like all of these movies.
What's the Three Wiser Men?
The dad.
Oh yeah, that's it.
Christmas on Call, 90s
But
Christmas.
wasn't he already gone?
in the first one? But
one?
that's a big part of the story. Still is the mom's moving on.
Yeah, you're
Christmas
right.
Under the Lights. Carol for Two. The mom's dead, right? Like we're getting to movies I don't remember anymore. Holiday Crashers. Is there a dead parent? I don't remember. But like, I just read you all of my favorites from the year, and aside from Holiday Touchdown, they all have dead parents. All of them.
I got to be honest, Dan, you're in trouble though, because if Hallmark goes and looks at your list, they're going to be like, Dan wants more of this.
More dead parents. Yeah.
We have one common denominator here.
Yeah.
That's
What
that.
was
They're
that?
Venn
really just,
diagram on that one.
that's right. Let's get to all the feels where we talk about what this gave us as feels. I love the idea of a Hallmark exec looking at Dan's letterbox
Like,
being
what
like,
do we need more
come
of?
here, everybody. Look what
Look
I've
at this.
figured out. There's one thing.
I
Can you
cracked the
guess it?
code. It's not that these movies are good; it's that they're killing a parent.
That's right. Make them all. Brian?
Yeah, feels.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
There were some really notable, like standout scene transitions in this one, switching back and forth from the past to the present and just moving sets was really cool. They did a good job with that. The date conversation, I thought was great. Like a lot of adult conversations happening here.
Correct.
That's right. And
Yes.
that date convo, all they did was sit there. I don't even know if they had food in front of them, and just the camera just went back and forth, and all they did is talk. And the whole time, I was sort of like really engaged in it. Like I felt like I was sitting next to them at the restaurant and just like peeping on in. Like it was really engaging, and so really, really good job there.
And I will just say one part of that conversation that worked for me more than I thought that it would was the conversation about she's talking about her mom who's passed, and he was
Rest in
talking about the
peace.
light and the particles and how it's all. And for some reason that all still kind of
That worked for me too.
even though it was like kind of like what's happening right now. I felt like he's the guy who's always like, hey, do you remember that I know stuff about light? It's like he always brings up
Yeah.
light.
Yeah.
But for some, like there's some, and maybe it's just because he said it. And dadgummit, he's
I believe
dreamy.
it. That
but,
settles it.
It
See
didn't
those
work.
abs?
To that point, to the thing about adult conversations and whatnot, after this date,
This is going to be mine.
a phenomenal scene of she just goes and she hugs him, and then she looks at him and says, "I believe in you." And it's such a
Not almost kiss.
no, it's not. It's not almost kiss. It's something that I think people do. You know, people just like you don't always have to kiss. Sometimes you just hug somebody, and the power that comes from somebody that you care about looking at you and saying, "Hey, I believe in you," is partly, in large part, why we're doing this show still
Yep.
to this day.
Correct.
It's because we had people in our lives that looked at us and said, yeah, this is stupid. This is
That's right.
a stupid idea. I
Yeah.
believe in you. Go and do it.
Yeah.
And so what a wonderful
Imagine
moment.
going home to your significant other and telling them you're going to quit a 20-year career
Yeah.
to do a podcast network, and then be like, okay, go for it.
Yeah. There's nothing more empowering.
Yeah,
Gave me chills there, Brand.
Okay.
good stuff. That was mine too. I love
They're
it.
gone.
Great.
They're gone.
love
They're
this.
gone. That's nice too.
Okay.
Thanks. Ooh,
Let's
that's real nice.
let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the way one. That's for the people on Philo. Philo,
Yeah,
you
that's
saw what we
just
just
Philo.
did?
And I can't sue
That's
because
right.
I'm a contractor.
That's
That's
exactly
right.
That's what
right.
I'm being
We're
told.
allowed to
Sign
do
a
that.
contract.
It doesn't
so
say
we can
anything
touch
about
you.
none of the South Carolina laws over there. It doesn't say anything about the
See,
contract.
That's for
Nothing.
Aaron.
That's for Aaron. We won't. We'll be back after the show. After this
Take the whole
Merry Christmas.
big week.
I do think
Back we are for now. Hi.
I do think
Beep, bop, boop.
this is the first time in the history of the show you said we'll be back after the show. I think this is we're 1,300 episodes in.
Your bingo
It's
card.
so hot.
Somebody
It's
just got
so
big-
hot in
Feels-
here.
Feels so
This
nice.
office is impossible.
oh.
Can we just? No one cares.
Nobody cares.
So, but it has been very cold here in Greenville, South Carolina, and the hardest part about this office space is figuring out the freaking climate
Yep.
control because there's no sweet spot.
No.
There's no sweet
No.
spot. And Brian has it worst of all because for some reason, our office, Brian and I, we have. It's just more powerful
More-
there.
more
and
cold
so
air.
when
but we
turn,
could use it right now.
we could turn on the
The
we
AC's
could turn-
kicking full. It just
it
isn't
just-
competing with the
Air is
heat.
on.
The air's on.
The AC's on right now.
And it's just like I
Somewhere.
can't. You guys waited too. The AC is like you waited too
Yeah,
long.
it's too long.
And my hands are tied. I understand what you want, but I can't give you what you want in this moment. We'll be back after this show. It's time for the wait. What, Bri?
Yeah, I just assume somewhere on the cutting room floor are a bunch of spit takes that Antonio got to do. Just him over there.
Yeah.
That was the one thing I saw him. I'm like, he's got to be spitting some tobacco all over that farm. I mean, that guy. That's the one thing they're missing here. The driving fast scene with the hot coffee stressed me out more than it should have. I was when she was just flying around willy nilly, holding. I think she actually opened the coffee cup, like too much, just too much.
She
like,
didn't make a big enough deal about spilling the coffee on herself.
No, the shirt barely stained. Like, just you got to drench that.
But
thing.
even if it's just like a little, like that's
it's still
hot.
It's
Yeah.
hot. There's a lot of coffee spilling this year.
She handled that very well.
Like
but
she does it all
also-
the time. Maybe
but
she
also
does it all the time.
Be careful.
Please. The husband, Niall Mater, making Russ
How about
writing
that?
Niall into all his movies is hilarious.
That is funny.
This is great.
Yeah.
Him,
That's the through line.
and I know they got to do the thing where it's like he's at work, he's doing this, he's doing that. He's smoking a turkey at 9:30 at night.
The best.
Was it for the party even? Because everybody's already partying. They're probably more than halfway done. That turkey, I think, was just for him.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
2025 is the
project.
year that we get Niall back on the show. I miss
Got
that guy.
to.
He's after all this.
Got
And
to.
after that Decky acceptance speech,
I mean,
we got to update him
wonderful.
on
Yeah.
a lot of stuff, like where
Yeah.
Panda is and whatnot.
He
So-
needs some updates. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Rest
really
in peace,
not
obviously.
Obviously. Yeah.
not a lot of wait what's for me because just straight down the middle. Did a good job.
Sure. So she has the idea about
Too long, boys.
about
The
about
heat carries it.
it does.
In the humidity. Yeah.
It expands. She has the idea, oh, he's good with light art. And so she does the logical thing and she goes and she talks to her brother and asks, hey, do you think that he would be interested in making art again? And then he says to her, you tell me.
No.
She's not. She's her. She's not him. So what would she know about it? She doesn't know him. She's asking you because you're like the guy's best buddy. You've been
Buds.
hanging around. He's been living with you. Maybe you have some insights. I don't want to go over there and poke the light bear over here.
Yeah.
If he's like, if the art is a sensitive
Trigger,
topic, I don't
yeah.
want to. But hey, do you think he'd be interested in or doing the art again? You tell me. I don't know. My hands are tied here. I thought that was of all the responses you can give in that moment, that was one of the more wild ones. You tell me. You tell me, as somebody who is also not the person that you're asking about. Let's talk about White Elephant and what it
Please.
is, what it
Yes.
is not.
Yeah.
It's not that, right?
What it is not is what that is. What they did here in the movie, it is not it. For a couple, so they do an interesting thing where they draw the numbers,
That's
and as
right.
they're about to draw the numbers, she says no
Exchanges,
trades, no
yes.
exchanges.
That's right.
And so Dan brings up a wonderful point. He's like, isn't exchanges the whole part?
Yeah.
The whole point of White Elephant.
It's the fun.
So what she was getting at is you can't change the numbers. Whatever
The order
number
that
you
you're
draw.
in, yeah.
I was like, okay.
Sure.
that's-
But why would anybody wanna
I've
do
never
that?
thought to do it,
a
but
snake
okay,
draft.
it's always good to put it out. It's a snake draft.
It's a snake draft,
But
yes. Yeah, you
then
get it.
she they do the thing. She pulls the I'm imagining they were the deer foam slippers.
Yes, of course. Yes.
She gets the deer foam slippers. He takes the deer foam slippers, and then she takes it back from him. And
You
the way
can't
that
do that.
I've always done it is a no takesy backsies rule in regards to the stealing. I was under the impression we all have agreed over the long period of time that this game has been around that an item is frozen after it is stolen 2 times. But if it is stolen from you, no matter what happens, you can't steal that back. And
Yeah.
so maybe people play it. Aaron, sorry, go ahead.
Was it different rounds?
It was like right away.
No,
wasn't it?
no. She gets a different gift. That gift gets taken, and then she takes her slippers back from the person that took them from her.
Do you
Yeah.
think
Okay.
that's fair?
I just thought like he had taken them from her, then someone else picked a gift, which is a new round. and
Yes.
So then I always thought
She-
in a new round you could take it back.
Well,
Interesting. Okay.
I've always played you can't take it back from the person that took it from you.
Regardless of rounds.
Doesn't matter.
But
I mean, because in one round, it's not like Dan takes it from you, you take
That's
it
right,
from
yeah,
Dan, and then we're just here forever.
For
No,
sure,
what
for
happens
sure,
is
for
if she chooses a terrible gift, and this kid comes in and they let
Yeah.
the kid choose.
So then she gets
then
to
she gets
steal.
another
Right.
chance. Yeah.
I
So
think it's fair
fair.
game. I thought
Okay.
it was fair game.
all right, there you go.
All right, there you go. And then I just love this moment at the end of the movie. I didn't work into the synopsis because ultimately it does not matter. But
What?
there is somebody who wants to hire her
Yeah.
to like be the head of
Marketing, right?
marketing or
yeah,
whatever.
Of course.
And she decides
planning.
that she wants to become her own. She wants to start her own agency. So she goes up to this woman and she says, "Okay, here's the situation. I'm in, but you need to hire my agency.
Yep.
Don't hire me.
right.
You're going to hire my new agency
For tax purposes. yeah.
And I've never seen a more accurate depiction of sounds like semantics to me, but okay. She's just kind of like, I don't care how we do it. I don't care how we draw this up. I just want you to do the freaking work. However, whatever, that doesn't matter to me. It was she was so nice and she's like,
It doesn't matter.
Sure.
Yeah,
We
you've over-explained.
whatever
Yeah.
you say, Buckaroo, was very, very funny to me and accurate because this is always like, it's like a big moment for the person who's starting their business.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to do this thing
Yeah.
and I'm going to put my foot down. And then at the end of the day, doesn't matter
yeah.
as long as you're doing the
Story of
thing.
my life, man.
Yeah.
Mhm, you
Dano?
said it. Early in this movie,
Contract and we can do what we want
That's
to.
absolutely. What, two?
yeah, Tingles if you
Oh,
want
boy.
them.
I'm not going to say no.
Early in this movie, Keon is explaining why he needs to bring his sister in to play in this carnival. And his reasoning is carnivals are hard, animals are easy. There's a schedule with animals. Listen, there's a lot of reasons that a carnival is different. Planning a carnival is different than taking care of farm animals.
Yeah.
But one of them is not schedule. Do you think planning a carnival is just a hodgepodge beluga free for all, have at it, loser walks? Like, do you think
Kinda.
like planning a carnival is not a very
Scheduling.
regimented, scheduled thing of how to get the rides and attractions when they're open,
Ugh.
the ticket? Like, a lot of it is more like,
Yeah, the people. It's people.
Yes.
It's just no because people.
yeah.
I think his point
his point was
is
it's different.
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's
But
not
also,
what he said.
another point is these animals. The schedule is made for me by mommy. There's
right.
other
Yeah.
stuff I'm having to
Yeah.
go.
I
I
gotta
gotta
do.
figure this.
Right.
I gotta
Yeah.
figure
That's
out the
true.
schedule, and I don't want to do that.
Also, gang, can we retire the alternative milk in coffee is crazy bit? Guys, it is not 2012. Greenville is not a big city. It is a small town. We've got
Well,
all of that.
Can I ask you this?
just
wait for it.
follow up on this.
Wait for it.
Sorry, go ahead.
Around Greenville, there are actual small towns. We are like a Hallmark town.
Okay.
We're like
Yeah.
a little bit bigger than what you would think of with a small town, but we're not the capital of the state. We're not a big city. But
Huh.
you can go in any direction.
It's curious.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Go ahead.
We can go in any direction to smaller towns,
Right.
and they all will have oat milk or almond milk. Now, you need to know something.
Yeah.
I was born and grew up in Hopkins, South Carolina,
Right.
a very small town.
Do they milk oats?
They might not even have a coffee shop in Hopkins, South Carolina. And if you're listening from Hopkins and you guys have grown, please let me know. I'll be back there before I die because, as you know, I'll die in a
This is-
small
Well,
town.
that's what I can. I
Glad we got
no,
here.
finish your point.
Yeah,
finish
yeah.
your point. Finish your
So
point.
there is, I'm sure there are places that don't have oat milk, almond milk, soy milk, whatever. But the joke that that's unheard of is over. It is so far beyond. In most every small town with a coffee shop, you will find multiple forms of milk. It just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, and we also have. I think we have all adopted oat milk in our lattes. Have we
Yeah,
all done that?
100%,
Because
yeah.
it is superior milk for lattes that brings out flavor. And if you haven't done it, it's just a game changer.
Yeah, correct. But it'd be like making jokes about pagers right now.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make any, stop it.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this?
Yeah, please.
Please.
I
Please
honestly,
do.
I hadn't
Yeah.
really
Finally.
given you. You brought up the different sizes of this town,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
surrounding towns.
Correct. Yes.
Would you be open to dying in Greenville?
I mean, I started by saying Greenville is a small town. That's how I started the
Yeah,
conversation.
you covered those bases.
I
pretty
did.
good.
So, if it's a small town, Bram, what do you know about me?
You would die in it.
I'll die
but,
there.
But
Thank you.
isn't it ultimately at it's in the eye of the beholder then?
Yeah, I think
Because
so.
the people
Correct.
from the smaller town, like Hopkins, might be like, I don't want to move to Greenville.
That's right.
Too
It's a
big.
big town. And I will say this: that's why I have nothing against a big town, because people in big towns
Sure.
could believe they're in a small
So
town.
you wouldn't die there.
I'll die in a small town. I think that's very clear.
Yeah. Greenville.
Or
Is there
another.
a number?
Or
Is there a
surrounding.
number?
I mean, currently
How-
65,000 in Greenville and then 250,000 around it. That's pretty close to the number you would think, right?
Yeah, I think it is actually probably a little bit too high.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I got nothing against a big town, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm talking
So
small.
do I have to wheel? Do I have to when? Am I going
When
to
the
get a text
time
one day?
comes?
Bring me to Hopkins.
We'll see what Greenville
Okay.
is. We'll play it by ear.
You think Greenville's going to go down?
Maybe.
I can't.
Who knows?
imagine.
I mean,
I do.
I'm still young,
With a town
man.
this good?
Yeah.
with a town
With
this
a town
good?
this good, it'd be tough. It'd be tough. Antonio Caon brings a 6-pack of beer to the White Elephant gift, wraps it up, and puts it in the fridge.
Heck
Great,
yeah, man.
great bit.
Yep.
The guy that chooses the gift, opens it, cracks open 3 beers, hands them to his bros, and they start drinking them.
That's a power play.
Someone can take your gift still. You can't
I love
do
that.
that.
I love that
funny,
play.
man.
You
That's,
can't do it. It's against the rules.
You can take the can if you think the can's neat.
but you drank the beer.
But the beer's not in it.
Can't do it.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. And lastly, another beer related one. Kaon and his boys love that beer.
They love
it. At the carnival at the end of the movie. they-
Kaon's a functioning alcoholic
Yeah,
in this
yeah,
movie.
he is,
There's,
yeah.
there's a sneaky undertone. He doesn't
That's
really
why-
talk about how he is. He's just always like, I'm good. Yeah, I bet
but
you are, bud.
He also thinks that carnivals don't have schedules. So there's that. They're at the carnival. It's broad daylight, maybe noon. They crack open their first
Yeah.
one. By the end of the carnival, they're still drinking beer. And I'm just here to, it sounds like a fun time. I just, seemed like it was a commitment they made to sun up to sundown. These guys are going to have a beer in their hand, which is a commitment you don't see from Hallmark that often.
That's true. That's true.
There you have it.
Did we do it?
We got to go what to Hallmark.
So no, we did not. To answer
Hey,
your
we'll be right
question,
back after this show.
after this show, join us.
Yo.
You want to get out of here so bad.
I
You're
don't
so
know what's
hot. It's
going
hot.
on.
We
I
need
don't know
bread.
what's going on with me today. I don't
Big
know what's
week.
going on with me.
Big week.
Let's get to the what the Hallmark. It's the segment everyone knows. They love it. They understand.
They wait for it the
purpose
whole
of
show.
It. They get it.
We
They-
would never change it.
No, we would never talk about
No.
it. We wouldn't even throw it out to
Remember we were
anybody.
going to give relationship advice? Dumb
Yeah,
idea.
I do. Is it? Let's get to it. Anything that you still have questions about that you would like?
Yeah, I'm
answers?
more fried, Bran.
Are you Mimi's or Franny?
On the point of Antonio being just, I'm fine. Just give me my good old beer that I enjoy. What was he doing this whole movie? He wasn't really doing animal stuff.
He was looking for
He was-
one file.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was going through his invoice.
He's at his table.
Just doing the invoice. Actually,
this is the
if
one-
that's what
No,
he's
it's
doing,
not.
then I get the annoyance and the pressure there. If you're having to just manage the accounting the whole time, that's brutal. But he was just really not around. Like, what was he? There was no like, hey, I got to go do this. He'd said one time, I think, I got to go to town for whatever. But other than that, it was never like explanation of what he is
Yep.
doing. He was just gone.
Well,
So,
you don't know
what the heck you
the
doing?
town is days away.
Disappeared.
The town's
Rode the
days-
horse and rode a llama into town, maybe.
Yeah, the town's days away.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the interesting things where both of our leads are going into new
Yep.
ventures, and they're going into new ventures together.
In the same, this is my brand, in the same office space.
Yes.
One has the bottom floor, one has the top floor.
Yeah.
Imagine the breakup.
I don't want to.
Imagine if these two people break up and it's, if the breakup is as heated as the relationship is, they got to see each other every day they're under lease. That's going to be brutal. It's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be tough. That space that he rents is not big. It's maybe 15 feet across.
He's going to hear her walking around all
Yeah.
day up there. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
You got to work that into the contract for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
like we
At
have
that
to have
point, just
some-
like basically a prenup for a
You're just
relationship.
Yeah.
you gotta think about those things. You
Got
got
to,
to.
yeah.
We did.
I think we did it now,
Congratulations.
yes.
We are now
Great show.
officially done with the Thanksgiving week movies.
That didn't take long.
How about that? Look at us. Look at that. And we're gonna be back tomorrow with a whole new week of stuff. We've got the Netflix crew coming back tomorrow. We got Brian here all week with
Yep.
us. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So come on back. We'll be back after the show. Until then, maybe the first to wish you a
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark's a Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.